Hey everyone, it's Jessica, and today I'm going to be sharing with you some products that I regret buying, but all of these are products that are really expensive ones, really high-end and luxury items that most of them I purchased myself, some of them were sent to me, but regardless of how they came into my collection, they're products that are expensive and that I wouldn't recommend that anyone else purchase. So I haven't decided if I'm going to actually call this products I regret buying since I didn't buy all of them. But regardless, they're products that I wouldn't repurchase, that I wouldn't recommend. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so let's just start with a very recent purchase of mine that I did purchase. This one's from the brand Bare Minerals, and it is their Bare Skin Pure Brightening Serum Foundation. It has an SPF of 20. The idea is that it's a really thin, very lightweight foundation, and you actually squeeze the liquid out of here and then you blend it into your face. I've worn it only 2 or 3 times and it looked fine. I don't know that this would work with every skin type ever, but I would assume this would work pretty well if you've got kind of just combo normal skin maybe. If you're really, really oily, I don't think that would work, and I think if you're really, really dry, I don't know. This broke me out so badly. This was weeks ago. I still have like scars that I was trying to cover today for the video. I mean, it broke me out so terribly. And when I finally figured out it was this, I was like, get it out of here. So this is something that it's leaving my collection. In fact, all of these are gonna leave my collection. And I should have known because Bare Minerals products break me out. I just bought some blushes from there. Those also broke me out. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I need to just remember that unless it's like just going on my eye area or my lips, I can't do Bare Minerals face products, so bummer. This one is going to cause a lot of stir, and I know it because a lot of people like lose their mind. This one is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. Now, before you freak out if this is something you love, I don't not like this product, but what I don't like is that it's so expensive for something that I think they do well in the drugstore. There are so many amazing drugstore concealers. You guys know, in fact, let me pull some of these out. In the drugstore, I would say one of my favorites, and I did a dupe comparison video between this and this NYX one, where I had the NARS one on one under eye area and then the NYX one on the other, and I had you guys try and guess which one was the NARS one and which one was the NYX, and most people could not guess, or they thought the NYX one was the NARS one because it looked better. This is the NYX HD concealer that I love, and they're not the same consistency, but they have the same look in the end. So that's one I would recommend. The e.l.f. HD Lifting Concealer is amazing. This one you can get, I've seen them in stores that sell e.l.f. and also online. It's like a couple dollars. Also, even the Maybelline Master Conceal is pretty good. It's got really high coverage. There are so many other options that are at least just as good as this NARS one. For the NARS one to be as expensive as it is, I think it's like, I don't even know, it's certainly over $20. I want to say it's closer to like $30. It's too expensive for something that runs out too quickly. You can't keep it forever because it'll go bad, and there's a ton of great ones in the drugstore. My next product that I wouldn't recommend is the Becca Low Light Highlight Perfecting Palette. This is I don't really know how to describe this. They're cream products, and the bronzer, or the low light they call it, is, you know, kind of a thinner consistency of a cream. They're really pigmented. It's not that that's not pigmented, but the highlight one, or the highlight shade is a little bit kind of sheer, which I don't mind, especially for a highlight. I don't really want, but these are just kind of hard to use. I find that the low light one, or like the kind of contoury bronzery shade, just doesn't ever look right. It doesn't blend in right, and then if I blend it in too much, it's just gone. So I haven't been able to use this in any way that I felt like, oh wow, this is worth how expensive it is. And then the highlighting one is okay, but it doesn't, the way a cream highlighter usually works, like I have the Becca full-sized opal one, that one is absolutely beautiful. This one just kind of pushes my foundation all around. So I've used it with the Beauty Blender, but the Beauty Blender doesn't pick it up very well because it's not like really creamy. It's kind of like rough creamy, like a cream to powder. So I've used stippling brushes, beauty blenders, regular brushes, my finger. Nothing is applying this very well. So all in all, I feel like you're better off with anything else. Cream products I'm not a big fan of anyway, but cream highlights I like. But I would say if you're gonna spend the money, just get the full size like Becca Skin Perfector, because that really is nice. This next one, I'm just sad that I'm gonna get rid of it. All of these I'm getting rid of. This is the Lorac Matte Pro. And it's like half the size of like the Lorac Pro palette. And when I bought this, I was actually in France and I hauled it and I was so excited because they're all matte, they're all really neutral shades. It's got a bunch of lighter ones there, some medium ones, but I am never reaching for this, ever. And every time I've used it, I've had to use so many things from other palettes that I've never felt like, oh wow, this is a must-have. I feel like this needs a shade between these two, because for me, in the way I always do my eyes, I always use kind of like a light brown, but it's got to be darker than this latte one to kind of mix all the shades together. And if it's not dark enough, it just doesn't look right to me. So I haven't been able to use this in any great way, and I'm not a big fan of rosy tones on my eyes. I'll do it from time to time, so I'm not really using pink, mauve, and burgundy very much. So I don't know. And I feel like corduroy and chocolate are so close together. They could have easily made corduroy a little lighter, and then I think this would at least be more useful to me. Now I know people that if these are shades you like, you'll love this because the formula is amazing. I just feel like I would have chosen a few different colors is all. And you know, it's still expensive for what it is. However, if these are shades you would use, this is an amazing palette. So you just kind of got to keep that in mind. It's just my preference. This one, sound the alarm, because this is an Hourglass product again, and this one I bought and it was like $80, and I am so returning this. I recently hauled it in my high-end haul that I just put up, I can link below, where I got a bunch of stuff. Well, this is the Ambient Lighting Edit palette, and it was only available to like VIB members or VIB, I don't know which level you had to be. Apparently I was at that level, so I was able to spend 80 of my own dollars to buy this. And I didn't know going in that the pans were so small. I found out like within a day, because I posted it on my Instagram that I bought it, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, you're gonna be really disappointed. And I was like, well, we'll see. So when I got it, I was like, okay, it is pretty small. I mean, these are pretty small, considering, like here is the regular ambient lighting palette, and you can kind of see, I'll try and do this without blinding you, that these are much bigger. And then of course if you get the single ones, they're even bigger. But that aside, I'm just not using this enough. They have like this new shade here that's kind of like this pinkish, but it has glitter in it, which I'm not a huge fan of. I mean, I don't mind, but I don't know. The blushes are really beautiful, but I think I would rather just own one of the blushes rather than having all of these. And then this bronzy one over here, I'm just never using. I don't have a use for a shimmery bronze in my makeup routine. I just don't. And then I already have this one in my ambient lighting palette. So all I was using was the one I already have, and then I would just sometimes use these blushes. But I'm like, I've got plenty of blushes that do the same effect. And I already have the other things. So for me, I'm like, I just don't, if you already have this, it's not worth the money to buy this. Now, if you don't have any of them and you know you're gonna use the heck out of this, then maybe it is worth it. If you know, as I mentioned in that haul video, that there's like one ambient powder that you're dying to have, or maybe one of the ambient blushes, just buy that one, because you'll save a little bit of money. It's still expensive, but then you'll have the one you're really gonna use, because having a whole palette like this is pointless if you know you're only gonna use one or two of the shades, you know what I'm saying? So, something to keep in mind. I saved the box and the receipt. I will be returning this to Sephora, and I'm so thankful they're so good with their return policy. Anyway, I'm gonna get my $80 back and buy other makeup. Okay, another disappointing product. These I bought on HauteLook, which is where I buy most of my high-end makeup for literally half the price. I know I sound like an infomercial, but I love them like so much, and no, they're not sponsoring this video or anything. So these are the Soulmates bronzer, blushing bronzers they call it. And I guess they're meant to be used where you just swirl the whole thing together and put it on, but I usually was just using the bronzer. They have, this is in the shade Carrie and Big, which is like from Sex and the City, and then, which I love, and then this is Ross and Rachel from Friends. This one's peachy, this one's got the pink. The bronzers are pretty close to each other. I think Carrie and Big's a little warmer and this one's a little cooler, but they're not really that pigmented. And on top of that, like, if you ever wanted to just use the, there it is, it's okay. If you ever wanted to just use the blushes really are not pigmented, like at all. Like the pink one, I can barely, it's on this one, it's so hard to get anything real off. Like nothing is coming off. So I don't know. Now, spending full price on these I definitely would say is not worth it. But getting them even for the half off price, I kind of just regret buying them because I don't know. Again, I don't have a use for this because I don't need any more bronzers and these aren't that spectacular. And then other than that, I'm just not using them. So definitely a regret. Okay, trucking along. Oh, this is the Benefit They're Real push-up liner. I got this on Birchbox's website because I think they had like a, if you spent money on Benefit products, you could get a free gift or something. And the idea, it's like this rubbery tip and you kind of twist the product into it and it's kind of like a gel liner, which I love gel liner. But when you put it on, it's like crunchy and like giant pieces of it will come out. So it's not very controlled and there's always like little clumps coming out. So then I'm trying to get a clump off really carefully and then I smear it. So then I've got a whole bunch. I mean, every morning I've ever used this, there's always been like devastation on my eyelids. So it's just not worth it to me. And especially for a product that is so expensive, I would rather just get my gel liner. I love the Maybelline one, the L'Oreal one, the Mika Beauty one that I'm using right now, or Mica Beauty. They're amazing, and then I can just use a brush. It's hardly takes longer. The only downside is you have to clean your brush. But I was so excited about this because I travel a lot with my husband. This would be the most amazing travel thing, so I don't have to bring a separate brush that I have to clean every time I use it for gel liner. But it sucks. I just can't use it anymore. All right, now on to some lip regrets. So this is the Stila Stay All Day liquid lipstick in the shade Bellissima. Now I love, and I'll even show this one to you because it's amazing. I have the same product in the shade Patina, and it's this amazing, it's like a mauve, but it's a very deep purpley mauve. It doesn't look that deep on camera, but on your lips, it really is, but it's beautiful. And they dry to this amazing, like satin matte, and they're comfortable on the lips. These are an amazing product. But this shade is so unbelievably light, and I have very pigmented lips. So on my lips, it just looks crazy. Now, if you have really light lips and you know really light peach looks amazing, you will love this. Because again, the formula is amazing, but this looks crazy on my lips. Like I've never seen anything look crazier on my lips. So I've held onto it for a long time thinking, oh, maybe one day. But every time I've ever put it on, I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I'm not using it, because it looks insane. So I'm just gonna finally get rid of it. You guys know I've been better, even though yes, I'm buying new stuff for my channel all the time because that's my job, but I'm also getting rid of at almost the same rate, and I'm trying to be good about it. So this is me being good about it. Okay, the last thing I'm going to mention that I regret buying is the Smashbox Be Legendary lipsticks. I have two shades. I have one in Mandarin, which is this really cool like red-orange color, but these, I tried to wear it in a video recently, and literally I had put liner on my lips, and then I put this on, and it just looks splotchy, and the swatch doesn't really look splotchy. Like one swipe, I'm trying to get like a good one swipe look so you can kind of see. It's not like crazy opaque right off the bat, but you can layer it to make it pretty opaque. But because it's kind of got a wet look to a certain extent, it just made my lips look so weird and patchy even with liner on them. So I was like, okay, I don't like this shade. Well, then I was like, well, this is one I had, and I actually bought this. I had read reviews on this lipstick and lots of people liked it, so I bought one of these for every single one of my bridesmaids in this shade, and I bought one for myself too in Primrose. And I was so excited about it because it's the most beautiful color. Now this one is better than the Mandarin one. I think the formula of this shade is better, but even still, it's got that kind of wet look that I just don't love on my lips. I don't mind like satin looks or if I'm intentionally wearing gloss, but for the lipstick portion of it, I want it to be pretty matte or satin, but not really shiny. So that's something that, since I'm learning that about myself, that I really just don't like it, I figure it's just time to pass these on, but I did want to tell you guys about it before I did. So those were all of the makeup products that I wouldn't recommend to you guys. Again, a lot of it's based on really just my preference, and a lot of these products, like the Lorac palette, is actually a really good product. It's just the shades that I didn't love. The Stay All Day liquid lipstick, same thing. So keeping that in mind, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope it was helpful. I would love to know what products that are really expensive that you regret buying or that you've heard are just absolutely terrible down below. That way we can all kind of read and learn about some other dud products that we wouldn't want to waste our money on. Definitely, if you do list some products below, give us your reasons why. Maybe does it not match with your skin type or your skin tone, or was it the formula or the shade? Because I think those things are helpful when we're all thinking about products that we didn't like. If you enjoyed, please subscribe, and I can link my other products I regret buying video that I've done recently down below as well. And I will catch you guys in my next one. Bye!